Well, hello, Childcare Millionaires. It's your girl, B Woods, Brandy Woods, the millionaire midwife, and your millionaire childcare success coach. Well, I'm going to let Facebook do its thing, but I have one of our best friends in Childcare Millionaires, Andy Henriquez, that's going to be with us on today, talking about how you can use your story, right, to get more clients, to connect with your audience, and to make sure you're showing up in the world great. We're going to be getting started in just 1 second. I'll be right back. About you, but 2023 has been a year. But one of the things that I decided, maybe last night I had to decide again. I decided that there was nothing, no one, no circumstance, no situation that was going to stop me from having the best year ever. And if you are committed to having your best year ever, I want you to put best year in the chat, because one of the things that we can do as people, as daughters and sons of the Creator, is we can command things to go our way. And one of the things that I love about Andy, he knows how to use his words and his story to make sure he sets it up for victory. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have something in your story. There was a moment of despair, desperation. Child, I know he didn't always act right, and you didn't either. Maybe you have a situation from your childhood and you just don't even know how to position that. But I am bringing you the best, my friend, my brother, Mr. Andy Henriquez, because he knows how to position all of our goodies and not so goodies to tell us about this life journey that we're on. Welcome, Andy.
What's up, Brandy? What's up to all my childcare millionaires? How y'all doing, fam? And for those of y'all that we kicked it last November, I think, up in Houston, I'm still talking about y'all. I'm so glad to be back and kicking it with the family. I hope y'all off to a good start. I do want to say this because Brandy was just saying this. And, you know, each year I normally try to come up with like a mantra for the year. Some people like it. Some people think it's corny. But I was like, you know, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like this is the year of the payback. And what I mean the year to payback, like I want this year to pay me back for all the stress, all the pain, all the heartache, all the things that happened in the previous years, right? So it's like, I ain't trying to press the reset button. The reset button implies that like somehow, some way that I'm cool with just starting over and not getting compensated on the stuff that happened in the previous years, the challenges, the setbacks. What I'm saying is, okay, all these pain that I suffered in the past, we go find a way to turn that pain into purpose. All the breakdowns that happened in the past, I want that to lead to a breakthrough. All the things that I had to learn the hard way, I was spinning my wheels on in the past, like it is time for the big payback. So if y'all down with the payback, you ready for this year to pay you back on the pain, on the challenges, on the tears, on the things that didn't go your way. Do me a favor right now, drop it in the chat, put pay back, baby. This year, it is time for the payback. So I just want to make sure that I plant that little seed, because that's the thing I want you to be thinking about. Other people come to you, talk about new year, new you. I'm going to be like, no, boo, I'm not trying to be new. I'm trying to get paid back on all the things that happened before. I ain't trying to reset, no, because somebody once said, when you lose, don't lose the lesson. So like, even if you experience a loss, even if there was some pain, even if there was some trials there, nothing is wasted in God's economy. He will always find a way to take that thing and mix it up for your good. You know, the secular world will go ahead and say that life's not happening to you, it's happening for you. My Bible says that all things work together for the good, whichever one you want to prescribe to. What I know is that God is ultimately orchestrating everything, even the painful things, to somehow pay you back. But as Brandy was just talking about it, you got to go ahead and speak the thing. Thou shalt speak the thing and decree it, and it'll be happening unto you. Life and death is in the tongue. So let's be mindful of what we say this year, right? And so I understand being entrepreneurs, we got to deal with some challenges. We got to deal with trying to build team. We got to deal with people not doing what they say they're going to do and so forth. But I can tell you this, in spite of all that, we still gonna get our payback, baby. In spite of all that, this is still gonna be the year. So let's go ahead and start right there, Brandy. Let's start right there.
You came in too hot. I don't know. I need an ice cube because I'm burning up over here. Andy coming in hot. It's on a Friday.
Hey, Brandy, you started it though. You started it. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, we go. You like, hey, and you know what I love, Brandy? I gotta say this, and then we gonna get to what we got to talk about. But what I love about you is that you keep it real. And what do I mean by keep it real? Like, we're in a community together, and it is easy in that community to be sharing wins and when things are going well. But I think that the way that you serve those around you the most is your level of transparency. And I think the truth be told, that there's a lot of other people that wish they had the level of transparency that you had. And I believe that that's where the great amount of your influence and the great amount of the way that you inspire others is the fact that you so openly share the struggles, the difficulties, and then there's no denying that you make things happen in spite of it.
Exactly.
And when someone gets to see that, it's one thing someone share the things they going through, but then they ain't really showing up. So you like, yeah, you just got issues. But when you see somebody be sharing the stuff and they still show up at a level of excellence, that right there is what I call a dramatic demonstration. And to me, that speaks way more volumes than any other good tickling things that somebody could be trying to say into my ear. So
I appreciate that. One of the things that I hated when I really wanted to become an entrepreneur is that it seemed like everybody wanted to give the ice cream story, right? And it was like everybody wanted to like give the warm and fuzzies. They didn't want to talk about that they paid their lease to their commercial building. And I was like, you know what, God, if you're gonna have me in this space, I need to be authentically me, because one thing that you teach us is your story helps others. And I don't want anyone to think, oh, Brandy has the car, she has the husband, she has the kids. I got all of that, but my kids be acting up. My husband be buying too many cars and stuff. He be blowing a budget, Andy. You know, sometimes my coworkers don't act right. You know, and sometimes God's children is bad. You know, I be trying to be a Christian out here, but I be like, God, why your kids act so bad?
Oh my goodness.
And so one of the reasons why I decided to really be as transparent as I can is because I don't want somebody thinking that success is easy and beating themselves up behind the scene, that they don't reach what the reflection of the world says is perfection.
Yes.
So I don't think we have to be perfect. And I think when we learn that when we talk about ourselves, our business, our family, it doesn't have to be perfect. We all know that friend that everything is perfect in her life. And we know Chick is crying herself to sleep at night, right?
Yep.
So I don't ever want to leave a false perfection. But Andy, I do want to be striving to be the best that I can be every single day. I don't have to be perfect, but I want to be striving to be the best I can be. So I appreciate.
And Brandy, you do a great job of showing both, and I think that like for me, you know, that's one of the things that I appreciate. I think that's one of the things that inspires me, and that I enjoy the way that you show up. And here's the thing, hey, childcare millionaires, let's be real right now, because I want to have this conversation with y'all. Truth be told, you are leaving all type of opportunities and money on the table by not sharing and telling those stories. Either whether it be the stories of the things you had to overcome, whether it be the story of why you decided to even get into this business, why you decided to go ahead and open up your own childcare, like you have to be thinking about this. You have this amazing story and you don't even realize that that story is the same story that you can use to get your staff to show up at an entirely different level, because you can get them to not just look at it as a job, but have them realize that they are a part of a bigger vision. It's the same story that you could share when you have a family that's coming and they're considering putting their child into your actual facility. It's like, it's the same story that you can use, that you can leverage in some of your marketing and your advertising. So I want to share this with y'all because my wife and I, we got one daughter, right? And she still be asking about her auntie Brandy, right? And her Uncle Shug, because Uncle Shug done gave her some money and stuff, and she got her whole money jar going on.
Should
right?
know how to get the ladies.
Hey, I see that, right? So here's the crazy thing. My wife has our daughter Ava, and now Ava is about 3 months, and we decided that we are going to put her into a childcare facility, right? So that they could take care of our baby girl, so we could still like get some work done, because the thing about when you first have a baby, like you ain't getting nothing done. And then you realize like, wait a second, life has to go on. I actually got to work. We can't be taking care of this baby all day. We got to take this baby and bring her someplace. So that was my first time, like for real, really looking at childcare centers. And so I remember me and my wife, we got in, we would drive around, and yeah, part of it is aesthetics, right? We walking into the childcare center, we trying to see, okay, how's the facility? Does it look like it's being upkept? We looking at the kids, like, do they have dry and wet tears on their face? Is they nose all running and so forth? Does it look like, all right, there's that part. But then when we got an opportunity to speak to whoever was running the child care center, they had an opportunity to enroll us. And every single time we sat down with them, the conversation was more about, okay, how many kids they had at the facility, what was their actual, fee, the payments that we'd have to make and so forth. And then we went to a couple of like Montessori. So they would tell us about their Montessori style. And so for me and my wife, most of the time, every time we came home, we were like, okay, well, that place was cool. So, but it was an all in our head decision until we went to this place called Creative Beginnings. Smaller than most of the places that we had been to. They didn't really have that many kids or anything like that. But what happened is we got walked into the room that my daughter was going to be in, and the lady that was supposed to take care of my daughter. And then what happened is the lady who runs the center, the director, when we got back in the office and then she walked us over again, she said, oh, well, I think the babies are taking a nap. Let me go ahead and call her out in the hallway. She brought her out in the hallway, and here's what she started doing. She said, yeah, so I want to make sure you know, she said, this is Gloria. Miss Gloria has actually been working here for 22 years. Miss Gloria has this passion and love for the kids, unlike anybody we know. And she said, Miss Gloria, do you mind getting some of the pictures? And then Miss Gloria was bringing out pictures of kids that were in middle school, kids that were in high school. And she brought out 3 pictures of kids that were in college that she used to take care of when they were a little baby. And now till this day, the parents are still sending pictures into Miss Gloria to talk about how good and how well the kids are doing. And they still feel this emotional connection to Miss Gloria because she took care of their kids at that time that, when you're a beginning parent, you be feeling guilty and so forth, trying to leave your little child, your little 3-month-old at a center and so forth. It's like a whole psychological thing for me and my wife. But here's what happened. When she told us that story and we looked at Miss Gloria and we heard that story, as soon as we got home, guess what we said? We gonna go to Creative Beginnings. There was a bunch of other facilities. They were more state of the art. They had cameras where you could check in on the people in the middle of the day. They had like really much nicer playground. They were bigger. They were more well known. They had multiple locations and so forth. But we got enrolled through the story. And what I want you to understand is when you want to be able to create a distinction between your center and other centers, when you get an opportunity to have a conversation with somebody who is thinking about trusting you with their children, or when your directors are meeting up with parents who are thinking about leaving their children, we are missing out on conversion. We are missing out on new students. We are missing out on money because we are caught up saying the same thing that all the other centers are saying. I promise you, Brandy, we were going from center to center to center, and I could pretty much tell you I could tell you everything they were going to say. I can tell you exactly what they was going to highlight. And half the time, Brandy, it was Kaz was asking them. The coach Kaz was the one. My wife was asking them the questions that they should have been brought forward, and wasn't nobody telling us no stories.
And that's why I tell you guys all the time. Like, y'all pick up those phones and be like, hey, I'm interested in enrolling my child. Well, it's $15 million a year. Nobody don't care about that. And people don't care about cost. They care about value. How are you going to impact my child's life? What's important to you? Can you even call me by name? So there's so many elements of being just a good communicator. Yes. That is key to how we position ourselves to our parents and our teachers. So I know they're thinking, Andy, but you're a great speaker. You've done this for a long time. I don't even know what storytelling has to do with business. Now I know you say, the people who connected with you, but how do I even prepare what kind of things I'm going to tell families? I know that's what y'all want to know, right?
Yeah. So here's the cool thing, right? So a lot of times we start thinking in our brain, like, first of all, what we got to realize is that we want to start looking and thinking through the lens of stories. Like, there are stories that are happening all day long at your center. There are stories that are happening at other centers. We want to not only be telling the stories to the potential clients, but we also want to be telling the stories also to our staff to get the staff to do the things that we're supposed to do. I'm going to tell y'all something real quickly, and then I'm going to give y'all a quick framework. So check this out. I used to work in corporate America for one of these accounting firms, right? And so during orientation, they would basically break down for us what the code of conduct is. So basically, I was an auditor. I'm an accountant, an auditor. And the way the auditors work is we go to the client site. So if we auditing a bank, we go to the bank. We show up in the morning. The bank shut down at 5 o'clock. We still there till like 9 o'clock at night auditing the stuff for the bank, right? Now, the thing is, one of the things they tell us as an employee is, hey, we need y'all to act right when you at the client site because these clients pay us a lot of money and we can't have y'all mess up. Now, here's what I want you to understand. This is what ends up happening one day at one of the client sites. 2 of my coworkers are at a client site. It ends up being late night. And once it gets late night, they're getting a little lax. They've been working all day. Now they're having a conversation. It's 2 guys, and they decide that they want to arm wrestle. Now, mind you, they're at a client site. So they're figuring, what's the big deal? We go arm wrestle, whatever. They put their hands up and they start arm wrestling, and they are locked, arms locked. And then here's what happened. One of the guys' wrist breaks. I want y'all to understand what's happening here. These dudes are working for an accounting firm, the same accounting firm I'm working for. They at a client site late night. They think harmless. They just go arm wrestle to blow a little time real quick because they've been working all late. One of the guys' wrist breaks. They end up having to call the ambulance, and the entire fire department comes to the client site, and they have to let the fire department in. They have to call the client. The client's like, why is there an ambulance and fire department at our place of business? And they end up finding out that the accounting firm that they hired had 2 guys on their client site who they're paying a lot of money to, who decided to arm wrestle. So my company ends up firing both of those guys. But can I share something with y'all? Can I share something with y'all? Childcare millionaires. After that, every orientation, they stopped going through the employee handbook when they were trying to tell us to make sure we don't do anything stupid at a client site. What they do every orientation since is they told the story. And they use the story to get people to understand and to think highly. Listen, if you're going to do something stupid, it might just cost you your job. So before you do something out of pocket at a client site, think twice. After they started telling that story, they didn't have no more incidents. Some of y'all been trying to tell your staff, you've been trying to tell your team the same thing over and over and over and over again. And you trying to figure out, why aren't they responding? The reason why they not responding is because going in one ear and out the other. So one of the things we got to be intentional about doing is figuring out, what is a story that I could tell to help me to deliver the point. Now, I do want to give them this. Go ahead, Brandy. I know you want to say.
I'm a teacher. So I'm like, I want y'all to drop that one story that you're going to add to your orientation. Because I always add the story of how one of my friends literally almost got shut down because one of her staff members was on the phone when a kid fell off the slide. Now, nobody cares. I mean, she didn't push the kid off the slide, but in their mind, your attention was divided. Now, the same teacher may have kept her job if the kid fell off the slide and she wasn't on the phone, but because you were not fully visible, you were not fully supervising, not only could you have you lost your job, but you could have caused this whole center to be shut down. Because it's okay that your employees broke their wrist because they was playing. Ain't nobody want to hear about a kid getting hurt.
Woo. Brandy, you know what's so crazy about that? Because here's the thing. During the orientation, you could speak ad nauseum and be like, hey, it's really important that we keep our eyes on the kids, especially when they're outside, especially when they're playing by the playground. You could say that, and chances are it goes in one ear and out the other. And yeah, they're going to try to do the best they can, but someone will probably still pull out their cell phone. But because you told that story, when that person gets the instinct, phone rings, and they're about to pull it out, they go remember that story, and it's going to cause them to think twice. And so one of the things that we underutilize is telling those stories that allows us to be able to deliver the point. So I want to give you a simple framework. I want to give you guys a really simple framework when you're trying to figure out, like, what's the right story to tell, right? So the first thing I want you to be thinking about is, what do I want them to know? What do I want them to know? That's the first thing. Part of the reason why we don't never know what story to tell is because we don't even know the point we're looking to make. Let's think about what Brandy just shared and also what I just shared with the story. Brandy just told a story that she says, during our orientation, we share a story about how a kid fell off a slide while there was an employee that was on a cell phone. That child falling off the slide while this employee was on a cell phone could have caused that particular center where this incident happened to have been completely shut down. Like, it wasn't only that kid could have got hurt, but you talking about everyone's livelihood. Center shut down, everybody who got a job, all that stuff gone because somebody had this undivided attention. Don't mean that kids ain't gonna fall off the slide even when they being watched, but it's the fact that the parent who is going to know that their child fell off the slide knows that the people who are supposed to be taking care of their child was on the phone. So what is the point that we're looking to make? The point in that particular case is, we need your undivided attention, and it's more at stake than you just answering a phone call or sending out a text. We need you to understand that if something really crazy happens here, it ain't just about you losing your job. We could lose this entire center and everybody could get hurt. The point is, when I told the story about the two guys arm wrestling, what is the point they're trying to make? The point they're trying to make is, when you're on a client site, you need to maintain a level of professionalism at all times. And even something that could seem as just being playful, Even something that can seem like it's not a big deal can cause you your job and also cause us to lose clients. And we surely ain't going to lose clients because of you. We will fire you. Okay. So in both instances, to come up with those stories, you got to know up front, what is the point that you want to make? So part of the way that you start thinking about what's the story that I want to tell, we got to think about what's the point that we want to make. The second thing is that's really important is we got to think is what is it that we want people to feel? What do we want people to feel when we share and we tell these stories, right? So when we are telling that story, like we want people to feel like there's an urgency here, that there's a level of importance. Or in the case when I was looking to put my daughter in a child care center, me and my wife, they wanted us to feel that your daughter is going to be well taken care of. And that's why we want to introduce you to Miss Gloria, who's been here over 20 years, who this is her love and her passion. And let us show you. You see this? This is Mikey. Mikey was here when he was 3 months old. Mikey is now in high school, and his parents are still sending pictures to Miss Gloria because of how Miss Gloria took care. So what it did was it made us feel like, man, Miss Gloria, oh, she gonna take care of our baby girl. And us being new parents, having a 3-month-old, we felt that security so that we were willing to take the action. The third thing you got to say is when I tell this story is what do I want people to do? So when Brandy tells that story, what does she want the staff to do? Think twice. Give your undivided attention to the children. Don't put this entire center at jeopardy. When the story's being told at orientation, what do they want people to do? Hey, maintain a level of professionalism. When they told me and my wife the story about Miss Gloria, introduce her, what did they want us to feel? What did they want us to do? Enroll our child into their center. So what I want you to understand is this, like a lot of times we can't make the connection. We don't see how there's a connection between our story and our bank account. But I'm going to tell you right now, in today's day, attention is the new currency. And if you can't get people's attention beyond just showing that your center is pretty, it's well maintained, and saying all the stuff that other people are saying, like that doesn't really set you apart. And now you put people in a situation where they just go make a decision off of their mind and off of what the price is. And you want to be able to be at a place where you could charge more than other people, but get them to see the value through the stories that you tell so that they can understand why they should go ahead and have their child at your center as opposed to someplace else, or also be able to speak to your employees in a way where you're enrolling them through stories, the directors and the people that are key players, so that they understand why safety is important, why they got to go through the protocol, why they got to do all the things so that we can make sure that we can keep this center open and that we're profitable and we're making things happen. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I understand that for a lot of people, it gets frustrating because you're like, Andy, I know you tell me to tell the stories and you're right. We need to be telling the stories, but I don't know exactly the right story to tell. And I certainly don't know exactly how to tell the story, right? So I understand. And because our time is limited, I want to go ahead and tell y'all I got something so awesome, so fun next week. And I want y'all to go ahead and join me, right? So next week, I am doing a free challenge, baby. It is called the Unleash Your Story Challenge. And this is specifically for entrepreneurs who are like, look, I got my business going and I'm grateful for it. But Andy, I know that we are capable of producing more results. But I also know that I am the lid in this business, right? My business will never outgrow me. So if I could become better at communicating what makes our centers different, if I could come better at communicating to my staff to get them to show up with a level of excellence, if I could become better at being able to enroll people not only into our centers, but also into the vision, then I know that what that does overall is that's just going to elevate everything that I am doing. This is for that person that you like, you know what? I know how to run my child care business, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't be feeling comfortable speaking in front of people. And a lot of times, like, I know what it is that I want to say, but the words don't quite come out my mouth the way that I want them to. And I just want to get better. I just want to get more confidence. I want to have more clarity when I'm talking about things. Like, if that's you, then you do not want to miss the Unleash Your Story Challenge that's taking place next week on February 14th through the 16th. On day one, I'm going to show you how you position the story so that you can attract more people to your child care center, and so that you can also be able to attract more people to what it is that you are offering them. On day two, I'm going to help you to identify the right story. Because here's the thing. I know you got lots of stories, but it's not just about you telling stories. You need the right story, baby girl. You need the right story, right? We ain't just trying to tell stories just to tell stories. We trying to tell the stories that we know is going to resonate and that it is going to help us to make a specific point. So we're going to help you to find what that story is. Then on day three is what we call show me the money, baby. Day three is how do you leverage this story in your marketing? How do you leverage this story in your communication? How do you leverage this story in all the things that you're looking to do? Like, that's the question, right? How in the world do you connect your story to your bank account, right? Should I say, ooh, that's good, right? Because we got to connect the story to the bank account. Now, here's the thing. The challenge is free. The challenge is free. But I know who I'm talking to, y'all. I'm talking to the child care millionaires. So being that I'm talking to the child care millionaires, I want to make sure y'all know the challenge is free, but I have a VIP level of the challenge. Now, let me tell you all the things you go get when you go ahead and join me at the VIP level. As a VIP, each day of the challenge, we start at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be going live inside the private Facebook group that's specifically for the challenge for about 45 minutes. Then I stop going live inside the group, and I will be spending an additional hour with only the VIPs. During the VIP sessions, that allows the VIPs and I to have intimate interaction where they can go ahead and ask me questions specifically related to their business, specifically related to their stories. So every single day of the Unleash Your Story Challenge, there is a live Q&A session that is only for the VIPs. So if you enjoy getting that next level access and also be able to get that next level value, that is happening in the VIP. In addition to that, as a VIP, you are going to get access to all of the recordings. So if there's anything that I create value for with you, you can go back and access that at any time so that you can make sure that you're applying it and that you are getting better, getting more confident, more clarity with sharing and telling your stories. In addition to that, as a VIP, I'm doing a bonus masterclass. During the masterclass, I am doing real-time hot seats. That is where I'm going to be pulling people up, pulling their story out, thinking about what their business is, what they're trying to do with the story, and doing a real-time remix of the story and giving it back to them. You guys, my VIP days, as of right now, that I do the same thing for, are $25,000, and my VIP days are about to go up in price. This is what my VIP clients pay me for, to pull their story out, redo their story, and then hand it over to them. That is what I'm going to be doing in the bonus masterclass session. And in addition to that, I got a story that many of y'all saw this story. For those of you that made it to Childcare Millionaire, right? For those of you at Childcare Millionaire, we played the story about my mother. That story has 5.9 million views on Facebook alone. I am going to give you the template that I use to structure that story. There are 5 key parts that I had to have in that story, and I'm giving you the plug and play template so that you can follow that structure to be able to share and tell your story, right? And so the VIP is over $1,000 of additional value. And Childcare Millionaires, y'all ready for this? Is only 97 bucks. All right. I know y'all thought I was going to say something else. It's 97 bucks, y'all. So the challenge is free. But what I'm saying to you is right after you enroll to the challenge, The next page that it's going to take you to is a page of me speaking and say, wait, trying to tell you all the value that you're going to get as a VIP. What I'm saying to you is it's a no-brainer. Make sure you join me next week, not only for the Unleash Your Story Challenge, but make sure you join me at the VIP level, right? So that'll be next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And as a VIP, you get a bonus Friday. It'll be at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, as a VIP, if you can't make it live, you go get access to all the replays. And if you can't make it the full time, remember, I'm going to be doing the VIP session. So I'll be hanging on each day with the VIPs. So even if you could just be there for the VIP session, it is going to be an absolute game changer. So, I had to make sure, right? And I want to find out too, with any of my childcare millionaires, y'all got any questions? Because I do want to go ahead. I know, Brandy, I know you got something coming up, but I always like to make sure if there's any. Hey, Stacy, what up, girl?
I'm excited. I know Stacy was in the VIP with me on last time, and actually, is crafting her story. She's very excited. So listen, guys, I want you to join me. I always talk about us sharpening our saw, about us getting better at our craft, and about us really being professionals in the industry. We have to get better on us. Just like we want our staff to get better. This is something that you can use to transcend so many barriers, talking to parents, talking to students, talking to colleagues, talking to the community. And this is going to make you stand out in a really big way. I want to know who is going to join me next week as we do the Unleash Your Story Challenge. And we start on Tuesday, Andy?
Yeah, we start on Tuesday. But I just went ahead and told the team, Brandy, they sending something out. I'm doing a VIP only meet and greet, right? So, Brandy, I flew out yesterday over to Atlanta to go film a podcast. And when I was getting ready to come back, one of my buddies said, hey, one of the things we doing for our challenge, we do a meet and greet for the VIPs. I'm like, a meet and greet? What you mean a meet and greet? He like, yeah, the day before the challenge kickoff, we just get in the room with the VIPs so we can get to know the VIPs, get to know their businesses, get to know them. So we're going to be sending out an email. Not everyone's going to be able to make it, but we also are going to be doing a meet and greet. So it's crazy. I mean, the amount of value that the VIPs are going to get, the amount of time we go spend together to be able to help them to get clarity around their messaging, to figure out what's the right story for them to tell, to give them the framework on how to be able to tell that story and position themselves. It's going to be crazy. So I'm excited because, I know last time we were at the VIPs, we had a little love affair with the VIPs. And so that's why I was just so excited to not only share with the community, but also to tell my childcare millionaires, if y'all coming and y'all want to get all the value, make sure y'all there with the VIP, because y'all with the regular people, y'all already know the regular people ain't asking me no questions. They ain't getting no access to ask me no questions. They ain't getting it. They can't raise their hands. The regular folks ain't gonna get access to none of that stuff, right?
Well, I'm excited. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to make sure we send this out to our complete list, the replay. I know that many people are on their nap time, they're on lunch breaks. But we want to help spread the word. I just want to thank you for being such an integral part of our community. People like Uncle Andy coming today. Yes. So we are very excited. And thank you again for, showing up at our conference last year and just really making a big impact.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. And listen, childcare millionaires, listen, I know sometimes on a daily, right, that stress is real. When you are responsible for a team, you're responsible for people's children, y'all. I mean, it's stressful trying to be responsible for your own child, but you're responsible for people's children. And then you got to wear the face. You got to smile. You got to look like you got it all together. And at the same time, sometimes you feel like you wearing the burden and the weight of the world on your shoulders. I think one of the things you got to be mindful of is be intentional about just reminding yourself as to why you do it. We have good days, we have bad days. But, when you see that parent that is hugging that child at the end of the day, when you get that note, when one of the teachers or directors share you a story, like, remember why you do what you do, because y'all are in a business that it could be easy to get burned out, and it could get real easy to forget the magnitude of what you're doing. Like, you are touching, children only make a small percentage of the population, but they are 100% of our future. I'm gonna say that again. Children make up a small percentage of our population, but they are 100% of the future. So 100% of the future is passing through your centers, is passing through your hands. And so don't forget the value of the work that you're doing and what God has entrusted you to do. And I don't want you playing it small. I want you to get everything that's got your name on it. And I want this to be the year of the payback. And so allow me to be able to support you and bless you and being able to get that story, get that confidence up so that you can become a better leader, get better at sharing your message. And so I look forward to all of you joining me next week for the Unleash Your Story Challenge. And I look forward to seeing you in the VIP. Remember, once you click the link, you're going to enroll. Right after you enroll, it is free. It's going to take you to the VIP page that tells you all the things. And then make sure you go ahead and upgrade to the VIP. God bless y'all, and I'll see y'all next week. Brandy, you're muted. Oh, there you go.
There I am. Thank you so much for what you do. Guys, join me for the free 3-day Unleash Your Story Challenge next week, kicking off on Tuesday, special VIP meet and greet on Monday. And you can share this if you know someone else that you think that will benefit from this. Please share. Sharing is caring. Now, go out and be great. Have a wonderful weekend. I know y'all having a Super Bowl weekend. I'm having a Super Fold weekend. We're going to be folding clothes in this house and getting it together. But I hope somebody wins.
Is the Super Bowl this weekend?
The Super Bowl is Sunday.
Oh, snap.
It just gives me a reason to buy good snacks, right? And, play cards with the fam. So I love these weekends, but we're doing honeydews this weekend, so.
Okay. I didn't realize Super Bowl this weekend. Okay. All right, cool. Cool.
All right, family. We'll see you guys soon, but we'll definitely see you at the bank.